Georgia 16, Tennessee 15. Coach Johnny Majors, your hindsight on this game.
John, I'm very, very disappointed, extremely so. I'm not embarrassed. It was by far the best opening game and best opening performance and effort, team-wise and coaching-wise, that we've had since I've been at Tennessee. I'm not angry. I'm highly disappointed, but not near as disappointed as I'm sure the players are. I'm very different if we were playing a poor football team, and if we had not given an effort, and then laid on our backs, and not fought a good battle and a good fight, I would have been very disappointed and also very angry and maybe bitter. But we played against a good football team, and I think we have a chance to have a good football team. It was a difficult opener for both games, an extremely difficult game to start a conference season like that. It was a team effort on the part of our football team, as I think, as well as I could expect in many ways. Individual mistakes killed us. It was a great example, or a poor example, of the first maxim that we use, game action. That is, the team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. We made individual mistakes that killed us. We were our own worst enemy. That was the biggest factor in the game. Georgia, their effort in coming back and stick-to-itiveness, you have to give them some credit, for sure. And also, Herschel Walker's individual play was another edge that they had. But we had the chance to win the ball game and let it right out of our grasp. Very disappointing, but this is going to be a challenge to us all year long and see how well we can bounce back.
Tennessee and Georgia, the game being played at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. People know about the expanded stadium, and we're ready now to roll the videotape of this football game that kicks off the season of 1980. Number 43 there is Terry Daniels. Kicking off for Georgia will be Rex Robinson, a fine placement kicker. And right from the outset, well, the tone of the game, to a certain extent, was set. As here's the kickoff, and here's the coach of the Volunteers, Johnny Majors.
Well, we expect that with Rex Robinson. When you see Rex Robinson and Alan Duggan in the ball game, their kicking game was a big factor. There were two great ones there Saturday night. A horrible way to start the ball game. You know, and we felt like right now, well, I felt like right now that if we came out of this with only 3 points, that we'd be in good shape. Our defense bows their neck and straightens their backbone, and you're going to see what happens shortly. That's a bad way to start the game. An individual mistake that could have been critical.
This is Buck Bellew for Georgia, and he is ridden down and coming over there to make the stop on him.
Chris Swampter, a freshman from Lenore City, one of the most improved football players in our squad, a sophomore, I should say. He has won the starting assignment right now, and that's a good way to start your first starting assignment. Good effort. See the effort there for Dennis Spradlin, and you see
Brad White.
61 and Brad White, number 90. You know, our defense is charging right now. They're setting the pace for the ball game. They're attacking. They're not sitting back and waiting for the first time since I've been here as head coach.
Georgia carrying the ball, fumble, and Tennessee recovers.
Mike Krover, John, caused the fumble, and I believe got it.
That's correct.
Mike Krover from Roan Rue High School here in Knoxville. Somebody else had penetration. It might have been Wampler again. I believe it possibly was.
Tennessee in orange, or if you're watching in black and white, the dark uniforms, and Georgia with white jerseys, red numerals. Olszewski, number 5, is the quarterback for Tennessee.
Man, you're talking about, that's a good start for us, too. You're talking about coming out from underneath the shadows of your goalpost, hoping you at least get no more than 3 against you. We've got the ball down, make 5 yards on first down.
That was Berry carrying, number 34, James Berry, a junior from Natchez, Mississippi. Again, this is Berry, nudging forward for 2.
Good tackling with Georgia. Good gang tackling. They have about 4 people on the play.
Third down, 3 yards to go for Tennessee. The Volunteers in possession at the 18-yard line of Tennessee.
Early in the ball game, this was one of the worst things that we did. To come up with a 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 2 and make the first down. It took us a little while to get settled in, to get our short yardage and goal line offense going. So we got off to a slow start, but I'm very pleased right now that we aren't behind, and now we have a chance to kick the ball and start Georgia for the first time on their end of the field.
John Warren with a punt of 32 yards, and Georgia will take over first down and 10 to go. The Bulldogs in possession at the 25-yard line.
Not an exceptional punt on John's part, but John did a very admirable job last night.
38-yard line, I think I said 25. Bellew, tailback.
Dennis Spradlin from here at high school.
Loss of 2 yards on the play. It becomes 2nd down and 12. Tennessee and Georgia. Opening game of the season, number 50 Spradlin, number
Yes.
60 Noonan.
Danny and Mike Castillo, both from Maryville, played for Ted Wilson over there and state champions at Maryville. Two fine East Tennessee products on our starting defensive unit Saturday night. Castillo started in the place of Brian Ingram, our outstanding senior defensive end. Oh yes, other good penetration. Chris Bolton, first man senior linebacker from Atlanta, and also Danny Spradlin, the second man up, our two senior linebackers.
Georgia to the line, a loss of 3 on that play, and it will become 3rd and 15. And now Georgia takes a little too much time to get the play in motion. 5-yard step off. The crowd was loud. Did that have anything to do with some delay of game penalties on both teams?
It was quite evident on the field. I think that not that big a factor as far as the delay game penalty goes. Castillo's the first man up, and I believe Danny Martin from McMinnville, Tennessee, was the second man, our right cornerback.
Gain of 7 yards on the play that time by McMickens, and it's still short of the first, so into the ball game for his first punt will be Jim Broadway. He came on for the injured player who missed the game, and he soars this one pretty well, a 50-yard punt. Bill Bates backing up.
A very good job by Broadway in his first punt, I suppose, in varsity competition. We had a rush on him. He handled the ball well, kicked it out. You know, our defense early in the ball game right there completely turned the tempo around. That's the first time we've had a defense do that. I had an indication our defense might be improved this year, and I believe Saturday's game showed that it is at this stage, and hopefully will continue to be better.
The running backs are Berry, and this is Terry Daniels, and Daniels nudges over the left side of the line for a gain of a yard.
Nothing there. Georgia stepped us pretty well. We made some yards from tackle to tackle, but also their defensive football team stuffed us a few times inside.
Jimmy Payne there on that stop with Ross, the linebacker. This pass flipped to Willie Galt. Gain of 6.
Sophomore from Griffin, Georgia. Played on a state championship team down there also.
Olszewski keeping this time, moves it forward, but while he's short of a first down, a penalty flag flew, and Georgia was judged offsides on the play, and so a 5-yard assessment against them, as referee R. Pete Williams indicates it to you, will give Tennessee first down and 10 to go at the 32-yard stripe.
Willie Galt played for Lloyd Bohannon there at Griffin, a fine football program. We had quite a few Georgia young men playing for our team. A good throw, but he was out of bounds. I was standing right next to the play. There was a couple of steps, either slow or maybe our pattern was slightly off with him, but after this, our passing game improved.
Olszewski to throw, pass into the flat, pull down with the ball, Glenn Ford.
Good running, and he's a little bit more body lean.
Got 5 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Might have been costly to us later, but Glenn Ford's had good practice sessions. I thought he played some good football, had one critical fumble.
This pass is complete, also this time to Daniels for a gain of 2. It comes up short of the first down. So into the ball game once again, as you look at the Georgia side of the field, the east side is John Warren, himself a Georgian. He'll be punting.
John's from Jessup, Georgia. A fine punter. Teammate of Lindsey Scott. It looked like prosperous to the people in the stands that there was a roughing the kicker. The defender evaded John. He didn't make contact. John fell as he kicked the ball.
So Georgia puts the ball in play. First down and 10 to go at the Bulldog 32. The score is 0-0 in the first period. Ballou to the left, wants to throw, eludes one man, but there's Danny Spradlin forcing him out of bounds after a gain of 3.
Danny Spradlin's been quite evident earlier. Our defensive end lost containment there, and we were fortunate by a good second effort on Spradlin's part to come up with a small gain on Georgia's part.
Buck Ballou, a junior quarterback, flips downfield, a pass incomplete. It was intended for Brown, the tight end. It falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 7. There you see the long shot giving you an idea of Tennessee's defensive alignment against the slot formation out of the eye, and Georgia gets outside this time.
They took a first down, too. We had them stop inside. The play was designed over our tackle, and we folded inside when we saw the ball there. We converged too much and didn't have leverage outside. Good running to make up the first down.
This is McCarthy carrying, as Carney Norris was the man who ran the ball for 9 yards in the first. McCarthy stopped inside by White and Spradlin. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
John, I saw more orange shirts around the ball than any time since I've been here. Brad White, the first man up on the play there. I see Danny Spradlin getting up off the pile.
Loss of a yard on the play.
Doggone it, effort was there. I see it right now. I felt like it on the field. If the effort was there, a good enough effort to win.
Tennessee nothing, Georgia nothing. Ballou to throw. Here's the pass. It is complete. Taken here by Brown.
Fine tackle by Bill Bates, outstanding young sophomore safety man from Farragut High School.
That gain was for 19 yards, however, and so Georgia has reeled off its second first down.
Uh-oh. A little salt on the sweep, but not critical. I suppose they made about 4.
That was what it was, a gain of 4 on the play. And it's going to be as Carney Norris carries the ball. There you come right in on top. Tennessee in orange with T on their helmets. Georgia with the red helmets. Ballou, the quarterback. This is Norris.
Uh-oh, got a little cut back there.
Carney Norris that time gets a couple of yards also, and so it's going to be 3rd down and 1.
And he made it. Good cut. I was afraid this one might go all the way. Wilbert Jones from Brownsville, Tennessee, made a fine, maybe possibly touchdown-saving tackle there. He played for Rufus Lassiter, outstanding quarterback in high school, made the conversion as defensive back and one of our fine leaders. In fact, game captain for Georgia.
Georgia is moving, though, deeper and deeper in Tennessee territories. The pass downfield is...
Delay of the game, John.
Delay of game stopped the play, as you saw. That was the second time. There were several during the game. There's the indication from the official. So Georgia, which had it first down and 10 to go at the 10, now has it 1st and 15, a costly error.
Here comes a sweep. Danny Martin making good play, getting good leverage, and Brad White, the first man on the tackle. But Danny Martin turned him in to Brad White, Danny Spradlin, and I see a good pursuit on the part of...
Greg Gaines, number 27, was there.
27 from Nashville DuPont, and also Wampler was pursuing. So you see more orange shirts around the ball. Back them. We've got to have a bunch of them around the teams we're playing this year.
Back to throw. This will be Ballou. Ballou is looking. Ballou is throwing downfield, and the pass is incomplete.
Is that Danny Martin again?
Danny Martin was there defending, and Spradlin also widening out.
Danny
29
Martin.
is Danny Martin. 40 is Bates.
Good
Georgia still threatening. No score first period. Ball fumbled.
We get the ball. Swampler on the bottom of the pile. A missed handoff on the part of Georgia, but alertly surrounded by some orange shirts.
So Chris Wampler, who is a sophomore from Lenore City, comes up with the ball as the first period comes to a close. There's still no score. Excitement to come in the second quarter. We'll be seeing it in just 1 minute. Quarter is over. The score remains 0-0, and we're set to roll in the second period of the game between Tennessee and Georgia, being played at Knoxville. Tennessee's got the ball. Coach Majors?
Yeah, right now, because both teams are kind of filling their way, and nothing's really been established. I really can't tell what we're going to get done, or Georgia. Until right now, that's a big break. Willie Galt is behind the secondary right there, and he was not our primary receiver, but Jeff alertly scrambled, Oshetsky that is, and found him behind the defender, slightly underthrew him, but a big play to really start something happening and breaking the swinging back and forth between both teams.
The pass play from Olszewski to Galt is good for 32 yards and moves the ball down to the Georgia 4-yard line.
Good pursuit by Georgia, penetration. We make nothing, maybe a foot.
Daniels moving the ball. There you see our sideline cameraman Jeff Jernigan on the job. Here's the pitch coming back to Daniels at the left side, and Georgia again plugs it up.
Not good enough blocking on our part. Too much penetration, and also good pursuit by Georgia.
So it's going to be 3rd and goal. No score. Tennessee striking with the long pass after a relatively short punt set Tennessee in good field position. 3rd and goal at the 3.
We didn't have enough punts down here, John. The worst thing we did, maybe during the entire ball game, particularly, hey, we go to the foot line here, and
that was Ford driving it down right to the goal line, and it will be 4th down and a goal to go.
The worst thing we did was making the 3rd down situations, 3rd and 2 and 3 early in the game, and also punching it in here on the goal line.
Tennessee goes for the touchdown and falls just barely short.
That's strictly official's call, a judgment, and I certainly couldn't second-guess him. You can't tell from where I'm sitting, from the angle. If his knees are down and the ball is down before he gets across, there's no 6 points. We should have you don't win on shooters or could but you've got to get the ball in there in that type of situation, and that was disappointing. We're very fortunate to get our safety, and now we're in great shape the way it turns out. We come up with 9 points rather than 7.
Ballou is the quarterback.
A tough spot to start offensively. I know nobody wants to do that.
Bobbles the ball, and there you saw Womack come on top of it, and the officials still talking about it. Tennessee says safety. The officials continue to look as Womack shoved it forward. There's the safety sign, as you see, and
big
so
break.
Tennessee has 2.
Big break. A very tough place for an offensive football team to start anything. What do you do there? You hate to take the ball off the line of scrimmage. All you want to do is sneak, get it out of there with a foot from the goal line. And we're in great shape here. We've got 2 points, and now they have to kick off from the 20-yard line. And would you believe the only way we can lose a ball game is for them to get a safety later on in the game? How many times do you see two teams get a safety each during the ball game?
Very, very unusual, as you point out.
And
Fine kickoff by Robinson.
Ours was extremely rare.
Returned by Hancock. That's the free kick after the safety. The team giving up the safety has the free kick from its 20-yard line, and Tennessee puts the ball in play at the 44-yard line.
And we're in great field position. Good play to open the series with, too. Glenn Ford behind blocking. James Berry made a good block in the corner. Also did some fine running Saturday night also.
Ford went for 11 yards and a first down, moving it down to the Georgia 45. Tennessee 2, Georgia nothing. First half, Olszewski. The delay on a draw to Ford. Got 4 yards this time, runs into Taylor and Park. So it's a gain of 4, it's 2nd and 6. Tennessee in the I formation, Olszewski.
The same play again. Our back missed the block there, and the Georgia defensive back reacted quickly and made the play. We had a chance to make a good play there, so there was a miss hit for us, but also a good play for Georgia.
Scott Werner made the tackle.
Play. Now we've got something going here. We've got the ball moving. We made a key first down to Willie Galt.
Olszewski passing, Galt catching 19 yards, and it will be for Tennessee 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Good punch in the middle of the line right there. Georgia stuffed us some. We made some good yards in the middle, off and on. About as much as we could expect at times.
5 yards by Glenn Ford, moving the ball down to the 16-yard line of the Bulldogs. Tennessee in orange, the give, James Berry.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about a great effort. That's fine running by a young man who's not all that big, but he's strong, and he has tremendous effort, and a very intelligent player. He and Terry Daniels are two fine students, two of our several fine students.
Now, once more, it's Tennessee, 1st and goal at the 4-yard line on the west hash mark. And here, once again, the full house backfield for the Vols.
Got to get it in there now, folks. You've been there once before and didn't know what the goal line glory tasted like. Let's see if it tastes sweet. Stick it to them. Georgia's going to get after it, so we better get after it, too.
Ford tries the right side, nothing much there. Olszewski, the quarterback, Georgia in its goal line defense. Jeff Olszewski, a junior from Parma, Ohio. The fake, the key.
Good effort.
Touchdown, Tennessee. Olszewski scores, and Tennessee leads Georgia by a score of 8-0.
Fine execution, John. Good faking by our backs. They hit up in there hard, and Tim Irwin and Jay Williams on the right side of our line blocked well, and Mike Cofer, another Atlanta, Georgia area player, and Jeff did a good job.
So here will be John Warren to hold for the extra point attempt by Alan Duncan. He knocks it through, and Tennessee leads Georgia in the first half of the football game by a score of 9-0.
You certainly don't feel comfortable with only a 9-0 lead, but you certainly feel like the game is becoming better controlled. You feel like you're getting your game plan established better. That 9-0 lead is very thin at times when you think of a touchdown, extra point, and field goal can still beat you. Great kickoff by Duncan. Duncan and Robinson are two of the premier kickers in the country. I'll guarantee you we wouldn't swap ours for anybody. And I'm sure Vince Dooley wouldn't swap Rex Robinson for anyone.
Georgia's got the ball now. They're trailing 9-0. Walker is in for his first effort. He
is a fine-looking prospect, and that was very good tackling on our part against a big, strong youngster like that. Good
cut. Walker again. Falling forward for a gain this time, close to 6 yards. It's got to be 3rd down and 2 for Georgia, trailing 9-0. In possession near their 30-yard line.
Option play, Ballou. Our defense overran the option play. They were coming wide. Ballou saw some gap inside and stuck it up in there for the first down.
So it's 1st and 10 for Georgia at the 35-yard line. Ballou looking into the flat. The pass is complete. This is Walker.
Good running. I tell you, that's a good job of Bill Bates getting him down and out of bounds. Fine running by a young fellow that big.
So Georgia, 2nd down and a yard. This is Walker again getting outside for what would appear to be a first down, but unfortunately for the Bulldogs on the play, there was a clip. And so it wipes off the first down, tacks on a 15-yard assessment, moving the ball back downfield to the 21. And Georgia has its 2nd down and 14 yards to go.
Doggone it.
Walker is there to recover the bobble for Georgia, a loss of 4 yards, but he saves possession for the Bulldogs, who trail by a score of 9-0 in the second period.
Alert play by Walker. That ball out that far laterally, it's hard sometimes for your defense or your offensive people to react to the ball. They don't know where it is momentarily.
Long pass intended for Lindsey Scott. and in good position defensively for Tennessee was Danny Martin, so the pass goes incomplete. And Georgia has it 4th and 17, Broadway into punt.
We're in control of the game right now, John. Walker's making 2 or 3 good runs, making a few people missing, but we're maintaining our field position. We started on their 25. Now we're on our 25. Quinn Ford looked quicker. He's had better practice sessions. Other than a very critical mistake, he would have had a very fine night. We had a very critical fumble at the end of the ball game that just cost the ball game at that time. It wasn't the only individual mistake, however.
Berry carries after Ford opened with a 6-yard burst, and Berry's gain is good for 2, so it's got to be 3rd down and 2 nearing the end of the first half. Olszewski
wide open,
and it's incomplete as the feet slipped out from under the receiver James Berry.
Thrown behind him. He made a good effort to catch the football. He was open. All we got to do is get it to him, and we got a 1st down.
John Warren is on to punt for Tennessee. The clock was not operating, so it was difficult for the fans to really figure exactly how much time there was.
You think it's difficult? The fans, you ought to be down in the ball game, wondering how much time's left in the half, how much time's left and talking to the officials between every 3 or 4 plays. It's very frustrating, exasperating. Not as exasperating, though, as fumbling at the wrong time.
Tennessee leads Georgia at halftime by a score of 9-0. We'll get comments from Coach Johnny Majors in just a moment. Tennessee leads Georgia by a score of 9-0. Perhaps lost a little bit in the excitement of what was a hard-hitting, really outstanding football game is the fact that a new stadium, a continually new stadium, is growing on the campus of the University of Tennessee. Coach Majors, it had to be a rather inspiring moment for you and the Volunteers and for the Bulldogs of Georgia as well, coming onto that field.
That's the most attractive stadium and one of the best construction jobs that's been continuously done on that stadium as you'll see in America. It's the best stadium in the country to watch a game from. I haven't watched many there, but I've been at the stands and looked, you know, in the off-season to observe it. And every seat's good, basically, and it's close to the playing field. If you're up high, you look right down on it, basically. And it's such an exciting event before the game to see people, I didn't see them, but people say that there are many people showing up at 10 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the morning, and the stadium was virtually filled at 7 o'clock, a half an hour before kickoff, and in such a festive mood and full of anticipation and excitement and the continuous optimism that both Tennessee and Georgia people and supporters had before the season started. And I think the people should know that starting this season that we've talked about our schedule, but I think you'll tell that our coaching staff and our football team anticipated winning and played like winners. And we know we have a tough schedule and a tremendous challenge, but I'm proud of our people who support us that filled that stadium and supported Tennessee through the years, and I'm very proud that our football team hit and hit and hit against a very fine Georgia football team.
The score is 9-0 at the end of the first half. We'll have more halftime comments in just 1 minute. Neyland Stadium in Knoxville as the second half is set to get underway. Georgia had the option, elects to receive, and we pick up the play with Georgia in possession. First down and 10 to go at its 13-yard line. This is Womack, the fullback, carrying for a gain of 6 yards. Tennessee lines up Noonan as the nose guard, and Georgia comes to the line trailing by 9. The handoff to Herschel Walker. Here's the freshman.
Good tackle, good pursuit by Mike Cover. I believe we have another penalty here, a 5-yarder. We opted to take the penalty to start Georgia, I believe, about first and 11. Second and 11.
That's right, second down long, and so Georgia comes back with Womack trying the left side of the line. He gets about 5 of them back, but it's still long yardage to go on third down, still about 5. There you see the camera pointing down toward the north end of Neyland Stadium where the new north stands complete the bowl, at least on the lower level.
Good play defensively there. Jimmy Noonan and Mark Burns, sophomore linebacker. We played a few people too deep in positions except in our secondary defensive people, and also other than Rusty Rooney at defensive end, we only played 2 defensive ends most of the time.
This is Bill Bates taking the punt from Broadway and returning it downfield, and Tennessee goes on offense leading 9-0, first down and 10 to go, going with 3 wide receivers.
We have really set the tempo, John, in the second half, exactly what we'd like. We have excellent field position right here. Our defense shut Georgia down. You know, you're on your own 48-yard line. I think we have 2 wide receivers right here.
Olszewski.
Fine job of evading the rush, stepping up inside and hitting Willie Goff.
I think maybe Miller.
You're right.
Mike Miller made the catch, knocked down by Williams. 16-yard pass, and now Tennessee again with Miller and Galt and Hancock in the lineup. Back to throw is Olszewski, looking across the middle.
To Mike Miller, 3 passes in a row. Very fine execution. The right play call to the right people, and now we're in excellent shape at this stage of the game.
Actually, Kofor is there. You were correct, and I was incorrect, and that's nothing unusual, as Kofor number 80 was there congratulating Mike Miller, who made the reception, and Tennessee has the lead, 15-0, and it's decision time.
Decision time, and the book says go for 2 right now, because if we make the 2, we're going to be 17-0 ahead. 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points, and a field goal to ties. They've got to make a couple of 2-pointers to beat us. If we don't make it, they still have to make 2 touchdowns, 2 2-pointers to beat us, and the odds are against them doing that. Now, they stuck us here because the play we had designed we felt like was good. According to what we'd seen Georgia films last year, it was the best play to call, and we missed a block there, and the linebacker made the play. We missed a block on. Plus, technicality right there, we might not have got the ball in there anyway because they called a penalty on us.
Tennessee illegal procedure, as there might have been some movement on the line as I recall the play. But anyway, the 2-point try, no good, and so the score remains 15-0 Tennessee over Georgia. As the Bulldogs get the ball and coming back upfield with it, this will be Scott Werner.
They're not supposed to make a safety on us, you know. The safety they got was a weird safety. We took ours down, and they held us on the 1-foot line, and we got it back. But ours was much weirder, or more weird, or whatever you might say.
Here's Ballou.
Contained. Good contained. We had good contain on the left side of our line there and made him throw the ball out of bounds. We're still in control of the game. I don't feel self-satisfied or fat and sassy, and our team's still getting after it right now.
Second down 10, Georgia.
In modern-day football, you never can
Herschel Walker going to the outside.
Good gosh, he's strong.
Very, very, very strong. Danny Martin rides him out of bounds after a gain of 5 yards on the play, 3rd and 5.
We had him pretty well contained, you know, and he makes about 4 or 5 on his own.
This is Ballou's pass. It's incomplete, overthrown, intended downfield for
well
the
played.
tight end.
Danny Martin's the defender on the play. Here we are, John.
Here's
We've got
the
a punt
punt.
again.
The punt by
This
Broadway.
is a big play in the ball game. A very big play. There's no doubt that the officials made the correct call here. There's no doubt, and I knew it at the time. I was hoping that we'd recover the ball this side of the end zone, our goal line.
It's still bouncing in the end zone right down to the end line. Had the ball gone through the end line, which as I look here, it appears that it did, it's still
a safety because our man handled the ball and got possession of the ball and started. The ball was knocked loose, and regardless what happens, unless we recover the ball in the field of play, if we recover it in the end zone or out of the field of play, or Georgia covers it out of the field of play, it's a safety. If Georgia covers it in the end zone, it's a touchdown. Now, the only way that that could have been a touchback, which doesn't count points for anybody, and we get the ball in our own 20, is if the ball had hit Bill Bates and carried on its own impetus into the end zone or out of the end zone, and we'd have fallen on it there. We'd have got the ball on our own 20-yard line. So the ball hits you on the shoulder and bounces on its own. And we fall on it and kick it and whatever. It would have been our ball on the 20 if we covered it in the 20. Excuse me.
Then here comes Warren.
Oh, no, in the end zone or out of the end zone.
Warren comes with a fine free kick.
Great
Tennessee
play.
then, however, guilty of a late hit on the tackle of the return, and so Georgia's back in excellent field position. They trail now by a score of 15-2, and Georgia has the ball, and they have it moving into Tennessee territory.
I have a poor seat in the house sometimes. I didn't. It was on the far side of the field. I wondered at the time if it was going to be close or close call, and I didn't see it. I was talking to you at the time this happened. I don't ever see the film until we do it here.
Well, this time it's Herschel Walker carrying the ball, and so Georgia.
But we are in great, you know, you get a punt like Warren kicked after the safety. You couldn't ask for a better field position, starting on the 25, and we give them impetus by our, you know, encouragement by piling on.
Ball at the Tennessee 40. Ballou back to throw. Pumps once. Here's the pass. It's complete. Taken by Lindsey Scott.
Ooh, good tackle. 2 or 3 people up there.
Georgia moving deeper into Tennessee territory. The momentum,
gains
an oft-used word, is swinging toward the Bulldogs.
Yes, it is. And by our own
Herschel Walker.
Goodness.
Herschel Walker.
And he's still up. That guy has made a tremendous transition. to Major College Southeastern Conference football, whether it be from Division A or AA or AAA or 4A in high school football. You don't see many freshmen who can step in. In fact, it's rare that a freshman can step in there. Robinson kicked the extra point, by the way.
That's correct. It's 15-9.
And now things are much tighter because a touchdown and an extra point can beat us. So this young man stepped in there. And normally, a young man in a position like that may fumble or he may run insecurely, which he did run a little bit touch and go the first half. But he's gaining confidence. He's strong. He's fast. And that's rare to recruit a young man that great. He's outstanding.
Galt returns the kickoff. Offsides declined by Tennessee, picking up the ball at the 25. And so Tennessee first down and 10 to go at the Volunteer 25-yard line, leading still by a score of 15-9.
Don, you might think, well, we should, I thought about declining the penalty or taking the penalty, making him kick it off again, but he kicked the ball 10 yards deep in the end zone. And quite often, he and Alan Duncan will kick the ball in the end zone the next time you start on your 20. I feel like when you start on the 25 with Rex Robinson, anytime you better take it.
This is Olszewski keeping fumbling the football. And Georgia has recovered. So the third period comes to a close. The score is now 15-9, but Georgia has recovered a fumble, has excellent field position. We'll be seeing the final period in just 1 minute. Field now moving toward the north end of the stands, and that's where most of the Georgia fans were supporting. Had a good crowd of Georgia fans, dressed many of them in red.
Good pursuit, good play defensively by a bunch of orange shirts. Doggone it.
Stewart carries the ball, got about a yard. Burns and Kofer there on the stop. 3rd and 1 at the 28-yard line. Actually less than 1 as you see they measure.
I believe, I don't know whether this is proper on our program, but I think this is where Walker bursts through and makes the first down with a power play over the right guard. Williams stopped in the backfield, and those men missed the play, missed the tackle. Again, probably not the best tackle, but also good second effort and strength on the part of that freshman.
Ballou.
Contain. Bad contain outside, very bad contain.
Ballou this time.
We have to improve our contain. We lost it 4 or 5 times in the ball game. That hurt.
Rambles for 9, and then Walker is stopped in there, and he's actually stopped short of the first down.
Mike Kofer from Rule High School made the play. He penetrated, made the stop. It's 3rd and about half a yard.
At the Tennessee 14, Georgia has it trailing by 6. Walker. This time he gets the first down.
Looks like we're a little bit waiting on him. You know, we've had our tackling so much better practice and so much better in this ball game than ever before. And it looked like we were kind of waiting on Walker because he's a little bit, you know, he's pretty strong. And it looks like Walker was kind of feeling his way, but he picked his way and fell forward and broke a couple of tackles.
First down and goal. You saw just in the corner of the screen a yellow penalty flag flying as once more Georgia is guilty of delay of game. So a 5-yard penalty moves the ball back out to about the 13-yard line where it will be still first and goal. The ball at the 13. Georgia.
Oh,
Walker.
to the ground.
Gain of 4 on the play.
The missed tackle in the backfield.
Down to the 9-yard line. That's Mark Burns, number 48, the linebacker. And this will be Herschel Walker.
He opened up too big a gap. Good blocking on Georgia's part.
Edward Stewart making the key block on the corner, and Herschel Walker this time, the freshman, takes it in.
Critical. Well, you see, they did a good job. Herschel Walker did some fine running. There's some good blocking, but very good block on that play. You know, Ian opened up the hole too much. But good blocking, he went in untouched, but we gave him a great chance for dropping the ball. We fumbled it. We fumbled away a safety. We fumbled away this one. So we've been very good at Georgia. And they had to fight back. And with Walker's fine play, then now the tables have been completely turned over.
Georgia 16, Tennessee 15. The kickoff taken by Anthony Hancock at the 5.
Willie Galt, John.
Excuse me. Willie Galt, number 26, brings it back out to the 23-yard line where he's tackled.
Frankly, about as much as he could get. I felt like that was a good individual effort on Willie's part.
Olszewski pass. It's completed. Forward, but the Vols lose 5 on the play as Bobo is there on the tackle for Georgia. Second down 15 for the Vols, trailing 16-15.
This is where it really takes a fine effort for our team to ride it because that old demon momentum has changed in the favor of our opponents. And we started with a 5-yard loss on a pass play. It really takes a tremendous football team and effort to come back up.
There was a long discussion here, and apparently a flag had been inadvertently dropped. I never really got the explanation.
Well, they cut our receiver, blocked him off the line of scrimmage, but the person on the line of scrimmage said that it was not an illegal block and negated the call that the back judge made.
Okay, that's the explanation then, and so Olszewski hits Berry through the middle, but Tennessee is short on the first down, and so Warren will be in.
You know what we're saying? We talked about the winning edge. I talked about the winning edge to our football team, about it's a game of inches. There's a great example. It is a game of inches. We lacked about 3 inches making a first down. Inches make yards, and yards make first downs, and first downs make touchdowns. Inches, get out of bounds. Came in 3 or 4 yards there.
Warren's punt is good for 67 yards, and Georgia has it, leading 16-15, first and 10, the 20-yard line.
An outstanding punt when we needed it.
Ballou, the quarterback, still.
Got to stop him now, folks. Good penetration.
That was Stewart, no gain.
Noonan,
Castile.
first man up. Noonan's the first man on the tackle. He had penetration. Then we had Castile and Lamont Jeffers.
On the play, Georgia was guilty of holding. Tennessee takes
the penalty.
Half the distance to the goal.
It's second and it's first and 20 now.
At the 10.
And we jump all sides.
So it becomes first and 15 at the 15. Score remains 16 for Georgia, 15 for Tennessee in the final period, edging down toward the end of the game.
Our people are lining up better. We're tackling better. Now tackle him. That's one of the 2 times that I saw Walker knocked backwards.
Noonan at the bottom of the stack.
And Lamont Jeffers possibly, and who else?
That's exactly who was there covering for Tennessee. Gain of 3 on the play. It's second and 12.
Take draw. Contain him. All right, not bad. We'll give them 3 or 4 there to make them punt.
Third and 9. Georgia at its 20-yard line.
So say, come on now, don't wait on him. Get to him. Inside man overran him.
Walker back for a gain of a couple, but it's going to be fourth down upcoming.
We made him look a little bit better than what he was there because we waited on him. You got to converge on him. Sometimes when you get an outstanding back, if you don't watch it, defensive people will wait rather than attack him quicker, then break down. Get up in his face.
Bates takes it on the fair catch, and so Tennessee has it first and 10 at the Volunteer 41-yard line. Olszewski looking to throw. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Anthony Hancock.
He's open. We're going to pick up 5 there, possibly.
The Vols ask for timeout, leaving 1 timeout for Tennessee. There you see Jeff Olszewski seeing the linebackers jump around, comes to the sideline, visiting there with Coach Johnny Majors. And back to play. Georgia leading 16-15 over Tennessee. Olszewski to throw. Pass.
Good play.
Complete. Hancock.
There you go, Anthony. Fine throw, fine protection. Good catch. An example there of a receiver catching the ball, getting everything he can, then ducking his shoulder, protecting the ball, protecting his body, and getting a couple more extra yards.
Down it goes to the Georgia 37, 22-yard pass. First down 10 Tennessee in the 4th period, trailing by 1. Forward.
Good tackling by Georgia. Not much blocking inside by us, but good tackling on their part.
2-yard gain. Weaver and Hip there to make the stop. It will be 2nd and 8 for Tennessee at the 35-yard line of the Dogs.
We're in field goal territory now, getting close.
Quarterback is Olszewski.
A little bit far out. Watch out. Protect.
Pass.
Oh, yeah. Field goal's awful big right now, but we'd like to get points on the board and score. Well, we'd really like to score a touchdown, eat up the clock.
Pass of 17 yards moves it down to the Georgia 18 as the Tennessee fans trying to cheer them on. There you see the south end of the football field. Well, Tennessee has it.
Did some good things Saturday night. He made a couple of mistakes, but overall he played some very positive football. Good blocking in the middle of the line there now, and James Berry making 6 yards.
About 9 yards actually on the play, and so Tennessee has it down at the 9-yard line of Georgia.
They got to take it in.
2nd down, a yard to go. Jeff Olszewski at quarterback. This is Olszewski falling behind, moves it down to the 5-yard line, where it will be for Tennessee. First down and goal to go.
Good call, good play, well executed. And now, folks, you know, you can't be in a better position except having the ball already in the end zone. 1st and 5.5.
Tennessee
Clock
with
running, a little over 2 minutes to go.
Pitch to Ford.
We go to the 4. Oh, it's critical. Critical play.
Fumble recovered by Georgia. Tennessee sees Georgia count the clock away, and so with it goes the Tennessee victory chance, and Georgia comes from behind to win 16-15.
You know, that was a good tackle. We didn't block very well there. Worst thing I think we did, besides individual mistakes 3 or 4 times dropping the ball, was just crucial. And Beater says, the worst thing we did, I would say, is on our short yardage and goal line attack offensively. I was a fine tackle by Georgia. Give them credit where credit's due, but poor blocking. And our backs, you got to tuck that ball and get what you can, because a field goal will win, even if it's 4th and 1.
We'll be in the dressing room with the Volunteers in just 1 minute. Tennessee 16-15. Vol Network staffer Bob Kessling is in the dressing room, so let's join him as we visit with the Vols.
With us, Jeff Olszewski, quarterback from Parma, Ohio. Jeff, tonight you threw the ball pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, I was pleased with the way I threw the ball. I was very proud of the offensive line. I felt like they gave me plenty of time to set up and get rid of the ball, and the receivers ran real fine routes. They got themselves open and caught anything that was near them. So we all did a fine job with that. I was kind of disappointed with my one fumble that one time, but overall I was pleased with my performance.
Just seemed like you were able to recognize the Georgia defense. They didn't cause any problems for you, didn't seem like.
Not really until the end. Well, the one touchdown pass to Mike Miller, we got lucky and we caught him in the man-to-man coverage, and it's hard for him to stay with our receivers in that type of situation. I just laid it out there, and Mike ran under it. He did a great job. And really, the receivers did a good job getting open.
Mike Miller with us in the Tennessee locker room. Mike caught a touchdown pass from Jeff Olszewski. Mike, I know it's your first start tonight against the Bulldogs, and I'm sure you're happy about the touchdown, but not too happy about the outcome.
Yes, I'm happy about the touchdown. You know, it was my first start and everything. But the outcome, I'm not too happy about, because we gave that game away. They didn't beat us.
How'd you get so wide open on the touchdown?
I got into my man, gave him a fake. He took the opposite fake. I went the other way.
Jeff laid it right out there, didn't he?
Yes, it was a beautiful pass.
Tim Irwin, offensive tackle for Knoxville with us. Tim, I know the offense is upset at the way things turned out, but overall, what did you think about the offensive line play?
I thought that, first of all, I'd like to say Georgia had a very quick and very smart defense, and we had a hard time adjusting to them at first. Thought during the second half we did some things better. It was just a bad night. You know, a lot of times you beat yourself rather than your opponent beat, and I think, not taken away from Georgia, but I think we made some key mistakes up front and in the backfield, and on defense I think it was a team loss, and that's the way we're going to approach it. We're going to get ready next week.
With us now is UT defensive coordinator Bobby Jackson. Bobby, tonight, how do you think about the overall defensive performance of Tennessee?
Well, that was some good things, Bob. We had a chance to win the ball game defensively. We had as much to do with losing the game as anybody did, maybe more. 15 points we feel like is enough to win. You know, us scoring 15 points, that should be enough for us to win. Our big play that we made that wound up being a 9-point play was the fumble punt that we brought on ourselves. So there was some good things, and I tell you what, I was proud for the most part of the way our players fought and played. We got beat by a good football team, and I think one of the big differences in the ball game was Walker. When he came in the game, he gave them a running threat, something that they didn't have the first half or, you know, before he came in.
Jimmy Noonan now with us. Jimmy, tonight back in the lineup after sitting out last year. How'd the injury hold up?
It held up pretty good, you know. It was just about 100%, pretty close. It bothered me a little, but, you know, I was able to deal with it.
What about the Georgia offense? They came after you in the second half.
Yeah. You know, I got a lot of respect for Georgia offensive line. They came out at us hard, you know, and it was low. They really had a lot of leg driving power, you know, trying to drive us off the ball.
What about Southern Cal now?
I think, you know, well, we're going to be ready for Southern Cal. You know, we aren't going to, you know, drop our heads and try to forget about the rest of the season. You know, we're going to be more fired up for Southern Cal, and I think, you know, if it would have been if we won.
Will it be tough to regroup after this disappointing loss?
Well, yes, it's, you know, every time you lose a football game, especially when it's your opening game, you know, it sort of get the team depressed, but I don't think our morale or anything is going to be down because we lost, you know, just waiting to come back for Southern Cal.
So Tennessee drops a disappointing 16-15 loss to Georgia. Next week, Southern Cal comes to Neyland Stadium. This is Bob Kessling reporting from the Tennessee locker room.
Thanks to Bob and to the players, and we'll visit with Coach Majors about Georgia and look ahead. Southern Cal is next in just a moment. Coach Majors, Tennessee and Georgia at 16-15. thoughts about that? Then let's talk about Southern Cal.
I don't know there's much else to say about Georgia, except I'd much rather be congratulating them on a good effort and having them come on the short end of the scoreboard. I do congratulate them on coming back. And very disappointing again, not angry, not embarrassed, because we had better effort than we've had since I've been here, in my opinion, overall. We can build on it, I hope. We have no luxury at Tennessee this year or in the years ahead. We have a great challenge. And if we don't have a luxury to sit around and relax for anybody at all this year. There are people right around the corner. And you don't have to look too far down the pike to see a tougher team coming to town every week. I like the way our players talk. No excuses, no alibis. We have better winning attitude here, and frankly, I hate to lose. I'm not pleased to come in close to lose a conference game like that, but I'll tell you this, as long as you have young men fighting and holding their heads up, I will never have to make excuses for them. I'll never have to alibi for them. I turn my back to face somebody in the street when I represent Tennessee football.
Tennessee and Georgia. It was a great opening game by both teams and by the fans who came in record numbers to see the Volunteers open their season at Neyland Stadium. They'll be back next week, and we'll be here to visit with you and to show you the playback of the Tennessee-Southern California game. It will be another record crowd. Till then, for Coach Johnny Majors and your friends at